Alrighty, so today I'm going to be drawing a fish after day drinking and smoking cigarettes at a public park at 3 p.m. in the afternoon on a rainy day, which I will admit I am quite excited to do, as I'm going to be drawing a fish with a pen that I have quite literally never ever used before. I borrowed this pen right here from a family member, and it's a pen that I've never used before. This pen in specific is the Pentel Arts Hybrid Technica 0.3 millimeter sized pen, which looks to be a more interesting pen than not. And I certainly am quite excited to see how it works with, well, drawing fish and everything like that kind of thing, that is for sure. And I'm looking forward to seeing how much I like it in today's video, and I'm looking forward to finding out if I might want to buy one for myself as well. But I do suppose there's only one way to find out, and that is to actually go ahead and get to drawing in my Soho Urban Artist Sketchbook, which I have right here. So now, without further ado, let's go ahead and get my sketchbook all opened up, and let's go ahead and get to drawing once I get to the nearest open page, that is. And now that I am on the nearest open page, I think I'm going to flip my sketchbook just like that, bring my phone down just a little bit as well. Make sure this is all centered. And now let's go ahead and get the cap all off. And let's go ahead and get to drawing and see how this pen actually is. It's a 0.3 millimeter size pen, so it's definitely a little bit smaller than I'm used to. I've been using a pen which is a 0.38 millimeter size pen a decent amount lately, so this is definitely a little bit smaller than that. But I'm thinking it should work pretty well to make a sort of like sketchy style fish, which is what I'm looking to do in today's video. Without further ado, though, let's go ahead and start with the jaw of the fish. Starting off like right here, I definitely have to say. Just like that. And honestly, yeah, I'm really liking this pen so far. Does it smear at all or anything like that kind of thing? I just drew these lines and it's not smearing or anything like that kind of thing. That is really nice. And this pen as a whole, for a 0.3 millimeter size pen, it's very, very, very smooth on the paper. Very smooth on the paper. I really like that. And the lines as a whole, even without like going over it multiple times, they're still much more distinct than not. Honestly, I like this pen a decent amount so far. This is definitely an interesting pen to use, but I do suppose I can't really say anything for sure until I actually continue drawing. I think I'm going to be giving this fish just some small teeth today. No super big teeth today by any means. You know, very smooth on the paper, very distinct ink on the paper as well kind of thing. And it feels pretty nice in hand. It's a little bit too thin for my personal preference ergonomics-wise, but it's not too bad by any means. It's really no biggie, you know what I'm saying? And so far, this fish is looking pretty good. There was something else I wanted to say as well about the pen, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. What was it? I had it in my head, and now I can't think of it, and I really cannot remember what I was about to say in all honesty. I cannot remember what I was about to say. What was I about to say? I'm like, it's very smooth on the paper. The line's very distinct kind of thing. The weight of the pen is definitely more weighted towards the front of the pen, but that's not what I was looking to say. I can't remember what I was looking to say in all honesty, but I think as a whole, so far at least, I definitely do like this pen more so than not. But of course, I can't say anything for sure right now because I'm not even done with this drawing yet, as I've got to go over all of these lines again just to make the drawing just look a little bit more distinct than not. So let's go ahead and start doing that. How was my experience today, though, where I day drank and smoked cigarettes in a public park at 3 p.m. in the afternoon on a rainy day? How was that experience? Overall, I will admit I had a pretty good experience. It was pretty fun. It's a little bit of a rainy day today, I will admit, and it was just about perfect kind of thing. I mean, like, I started recording at a park that was not the park that I intended to go to day drink at today, and that park, when I got there, it was sprinkling like a little bit kind of thing, but it wasn't really raining. And then, as I started driving, it was pretty much still sprinkling, but the moment I got to the actual park I wanted to make the video at, it started absolute pouring. It started absolutely pouring the moment I got there, kind of thing. The moment I got my camera set up and started actually really recording there, kind of thing. It started absolutely pouring. And I was like, oh, wow, that's perfect. Well, the title is Stay Drinking and Smoking Cigarettes in a Public Park at 3 p.m. in the afternoon on a rainy day. And here it is. It's raining, kind of thing. I was a little bit afraid that it wasn't really going to be raining all throughout the video. But no, it actually did start raining. So I really cannot complain. As I'm continuing to build the lines up just a little bit more and just thicken the lines, I'm definitely able to tell this is a much thinner pen than not. It's definitely making the lines a little bit thicker than not is quite difficult, but it's still turning out very well. The lines are becoming even more distinct than they were already. The ink is getting very, very, very dark, and as a whole, I'm definitely liking this pen for this specific style of art. So for the sort of like slightly sketchy style kind of thing, I think it works pretty well with. As most smaller pens do, I definitely have to say. Just a little bit right there and a little bit right there as well, kind of thing. I'm just going to go ahead and thicken up some of the lines right here as well. I accidentally did a little bit of a dot right there, so I had to make it match, of course. I think it works. I don't really think it's too big of a deal. I don't usually do like pupils, but you could consider these to be pupils or not maybe. Or maybe actually I'll do little pupils kind of thing. I think those tiny little pupils right there look pretty hilarious because they're kind of like looking in like a really weird way. I think those honestly look pretty funny. And honestly, that mistake, I don't mind it one bit. It was a worthwhile mistake to make. And there we go. Just gotta keep going over the like teeth and everything like that kind of thing. Just making them all have another layer just to make them all look a little bit more distinct than not, I do suppose. And I have not been smearing the ink at all in this video. I'm just looking at like the back of my hand, and I haven't smeared any of the ink at all in this video. I really cannot complain. I love that, you know what I'm saying? I love that. And there we go. So just kind of going over, just filling up the tips of the teeth now, just making them look a little bit dark, just to give some more distinctness, just like that. And now let's go ahead and do the fins as well. And there we go. There's the fish pretty much all done. What am I thinking about this fish? Do I like it? Do I not? Overall, I am a bigger fan of this fish than not, and I have accidentally done something a little bit different than I normally do, which is add pupils to the eyes. Well, I didn't really have to choose to actually add pupils to the eyes, but I messed up. It looked kind of wrong, and I just decided to opt to add some. So I did exactly that. I am just going to make this... And this pen, oh, one other thing to mention, it does do okay from the side, but it definitely does better from straight up and down, which is really no surprise because it is a smaller pen than not, and that just tends to be how smaller pens work. But I am just going to add a little bit more, kind of just like little details just going all the way around kind of thing, I do think. There we go. Almost done. There we go, just like that. I'm not so sure if I'm really super happy with the sort of like other border going around the actual border of the fish, but I don't think it's so bad, and I think it was good. I think it was worthwhile to try something new. What are my overall thoughts on this fish? Do I like it? Do I not? As a whole, I definitely like this fish more so than not, but it is by no means one of my favorite fish I've ever drawn. But it is nonetheless a fish that I drew after day drinking and smoking cigarettes in a public park at 3 p.m. in the afternoon on a rainy day. So I certainly cannot complain too much, that is for sure. I certainly hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video where I drew a fish and everything like that kind of thing. If you guys have enjoyed watching this video, of course, please make sure to, oh yeah, and also make sure to let me know what you guys think of this fish in the comments down below. But of course, also make sure to like and subscribe for more content. I have my Instagram, my book, my merch, my P.O. box, and my main channel, all in the description down below. Go check it all out. As said, like, subscribe, and yeah, till the next one, y'all, stay safe and peace and have a great one. Yes, sir, you know what I'm saying?